Willy Wonka has a teleport device in his factory. Unfortunately, this teleport device has a flaw. It will reduce something to 1/10 of its size in each dimension when it goes through. Now, when Mike Teavee steps into the teleport device, he starts off looking like that, and then later on, after 24 seconds of going through the teleport device, he ends up looking like that. Now that means basically he has about 1/1000th of his previous size. Now this is a little bit puzzling because where has it gone? He doesn't weigh any more than he did before, or rather his density is not higher than it was before because his mother can easily pick him up and put her in her handbag. So he must have lost 99% of his matter. Now I'm going to assume that Mike Teavee weighs about 50 kilos. If he weighs about 50 kilos, think about that in terms of special relativity. He has lost what is equivalent to the speed of light in centimetres squared per second, multiplied by his mass in grams, joules, ergs of energy. So where has that gone? Because that is enough energy to power the whole needs of the Earth's energy grid for an entire year in 2010. So that matter clearly has gone somewhere. Now I think either it has gone into running the factory, in which case that factory needs a hell of a lot of energy if it's all used up that way, or it's gone somewhere else. Now I think possibly this is the explanation for the blueberry gum, because probably what happens is the blueberry gum is converted into, is actually a teleport device in itself, and that the blueberry pie and cream and all that stuff actually is teleported into the gum as it's being chewed, and that is how Violet Beauregarde ends up as a giant blueberry. So that explains where it goes. Willy Wonka is clearly storing energy and transmuting it into another form and putting it into the blueberry gum. I think we've got an explanation now as to why blueberry gum is only that big, and then it will turn into an enormous blueberry. Right, so the other thing is that there is a very high bandwidth involved. He takes 24 seconds to be transmitted from one to the other, and there's a hell of a lot of him, and he consists of a hell of a lot of information. Now I think that's probably explained by data compression. Now when he's that small, there are also a few problems. One is, because it's 1/1000th of the size, he's going to be losing heat very, very fast. He's going to be losing heat at such a rate that it's going to kill him. So I think probably the bunny suit that he's wearing is very efficient. It probably stores his energy very well, or it's heated. That's probably how he survives. Also there's a problem because he still appears to be as intelligent, but clearly his atoms are not smaller. Most of his atoms are gone, otherwise he would be much denser and it would be impossible for his mother to pick him up. So there is a problem with the fact that his brain still seems to work the same as it did before. I haven't got an explanation for that. There is another problem with him as well, which is this. When you stretch most substances, because he's stretched back to normal size, they get thinner as you stretch them, and obviously they snap, which is, you know, not good. But we know that in this world small boys are very elastic and they don't snap. I think actually probably people in general are very elastic because of the whole Violet Beauregarde situation again. So he gets thinner. Now the only thing is, if he gets that much thinner, his original appearance was like that. Now if he's getting that much thinner, his later appearance should be like that. He should be really, really thin, but he's not. And I think the explanation for that, because he ends up like that, basically. I've drawn the jumpsuit because I can't remember what he was wearing otherwise. I think probably that means he has a negative Poisson ratio. Now there are a few substances which have a negative Poisson ratio. That means that when you stretch them, rather than getting thinner, they will get thicker, they get wider. Now there are ways of doing that. There is a kind of foam, for example, that you can bake in an oven, which will crinkle up, and then when you stretch it, it will uncrinkle in that direction. So a negative Poisson ratio is exhibited by a substance that gets wider when you stretch it in that other direction. Normal effect is for it to get thinner. Okay, now there's just one more thing about this. Well, firstly, Willy Wonka is stealing matter, and that's how the gum works, and clearly it's how he powers his factory. He's got some sort of matter-energy conversion device going on. The other thing is that by the 1980s, much better data compression was being achieved by simply encoding DNA rather than transmitting the entire body. Because in The Fly, the 80s version of The Fly, Jeff Goldblum was clearly transmitted via his DNA, because his DNA got mixed up with that fly, and then he turned into a half fly, half human type person. So that's good data compression, because then you don't have to send all the matter, you just need to send the DNA bit that describes you. So basically what it's doing is it's destroying you and it's recreating you and growing you, so it's like an artificial womb. And I think that's a good way of doing it. The other thing is that you can also have generic data representing the DNA of human beings in general, and then just store the differences. Clearly it also stores memories, because clearly Jeff Goldblum appears to be the same person when he comes out and he can remember what's happened. So that's all fine. But I think that's probably how they work. And Willy Wonka's approach, which involves breaking someone up into a million bits of matter and transmitting them, is probably something that's best confined to the 60s, because it works a lot better in the Jeff Goldblum way. And yeah, I think that's the way they should do it.